Hey guys, how's it going? DUJ2 here, and welcome back to Fortnite Save the World, and welcome to this week's must-have video. As you guys know, every single week I do a must-have video, and this week's is going to be a little different than most because we're going to talk about the shop, and we're going to talk about the unsung heroes of the shop, the must-haves that we don't normally talk about. Like right now, I could talk about the Copper V6 launcher. I could talk about the V6 launcher some more. We could go in, we could take a look at what I did with mine, what I decided was the best build for it, the hero loadout, all of that stuff, you know. And you know what? I'm not saying it's not a must-have. I'm saying it's a, you know what? If it's in the shop, you gotta have it. If it's in the shop and it costs gold to buy it, you gotta have it. You gotta buy it if you can. Thora, Cloakstar, all of these, the Copper V6 launcher. If you don't have a Copper Super Shredder yet, if you don't have a Riptide yet, definitely pick them up. Pick these items up because you know what? Look how beautiful that weapon is. Look at the attention to detail of that thing. Man. Even I love that the zipper in front. Even if it wasn't, you know what? Even if these items aren't the greatest ever, gold, and they're not bad actually. Gold, guys, gold comes just from playing the game. Play the game a lot, get a lot of gold. Boom, you can get yourself stuff in the shop. So that's a given. Those are must-haves that we always talk about. But today, I want to talk about two must-haves. I want to talk about two items that we don't normally talk about. And that is the Armory Slots, and the Legendary Flux. You guys know, if you've watched my videos, you know that every single, and thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate all you guys who are still with me. I know that I've been taking some time off. I will be coming back to streaming regularly very, very soon. If you're watching this on Sunday, tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be having, maybe later tonight, I'll be releasing my schedule for this week. So thank you very much, guys. I am coming back to regular streaming. I've been gone too long. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for commenting. Thank you much for sticking with me. You guys are fantastic. As well as thank you all of you who are using my creator code. Thank you. If you're buying stuff in Battle Royale, which, you know what, we already talked about that. It's a lot of money that some of you guys spend. I would say, you know what, save your money. But if you are going to buy it, if you are going to spend your money in Save the World or in with llamas, or in Battle Royale, buying something cosmetic, thank you. Thank you very much for thinking of me. Thank you very much for using me as your supporter creator. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. So, as I was saying, if you guys watch my videos every single week, whenever I do the weekly reset, I always say, hey, we're going to buy the stuff. And I always start with the Armory Slots. I always start with the Armory Slots. And people have asked me in the past, why do you start with that? Why do you start with the Armory Slots? What's the point of starting with the Armory Slots? Well, excuse me. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the Legendary Flux. And I'm also going to talk about two other things. Something which is the Epic Schematics, the Rare Schematics. Well, these two schematics actually. The Epic and the Rare. Now, right now in the current state of the game, getting gold is not super easy. If you're gonna get yourself 1,000 gold right there, that's gonna take you a while. That's gonna take you a while to get 1,000 gold. Now, there have been moments in the history of this game when we are actually able to get gold a lot easier and faster. There have been certain times when we have had certain moments when we can get massive amounts of gold pretty fast, and now that we can save gold, well, it's good to just do that when you can. And if you happen to be one of those people who have hundreds of thousands of gold and have no idea what to spend it on, well, these two schematics right here are for you. We're going to finish by talking about the Armory Slots and Legendary Flux, but I want to talk about this, a little about these first. This epic schematic right here, if you buy it, which I'm not going to buy it, but for 1,000 gold, just 1,000 gold, well, that's a lot actually, but for 1,000 gold, you can get yourself an epic schematic. And this epic schematic could be anything. Now, you might think, what's the point of getting a bunch of epic schematics? They don't help me, they don't do anything for me, what's the point? Well, what you can do with those epic schematics is you can take them and you can go ahead and you can recycle or retire them. Now, a lot of people constantly ask me, how do you have so much supplies? Well, the short answer is I play this game a lot. I just made my glasses more dirty than clean. But right here, if you guys see, I do have a lot of supplies, and one of the things I have a lot of that people constantly ask me about is those training manuals. How have I gotten so many training manuals? Now, the short answer is I have recycled and retired a lot. That's why I have 6,000 training manuals, for training manuals, 2,064 trap designs, and 6,084 weapon designs. That's why I have so many of them, because I have been I opened a lot of llamas. When I first started playing this game, if you guys go back and look at my llama opening videos, you guys will see me opening hundreds of llamas, literally, probably thousands actually. I used to spend a large amount of money on this game, a very large amount of money in this game, purchasing a lot of llamas. Back before we had the extra llamas, I would do videos about the triple llamas, the lucky 7 llamas, all the llamas, all those that I really enjoyed. I really liked those. I really liked those llamas because it gave me the best bang for my buck. And before we had X-ray llamas, we didn't know what was inside them. So opening those llamas and of course recycling and retiring what I got after it was what gave me the most of my items. But a lot of people are saying, well, I can't spend that much money. I can't spend money on Save the World. I can't buy the V-Bucks to open the llamas. But you may have the time to play the game to get the gold. If you get the gold, you can open the schematics, or buy the schematics, get the schematic, then you can retire or recycle. Bob's your uncle. There you go. That's how you can get yourself some of those. So this is one of those, it's one of those unsung heroes which we don't really talk about over in the weekly. Sometimes we have those show up, but I don't remember there. Oh, and also for those of you who've been around a long time, you may remember a long time ago, we could buy V-Bucks with gold. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Anyway, so you've got those two right there. A lot of people constantly say, what's the point of those? Why are they there? I don't care. It's basically if you are wanting that, and you never know, there might be a schematic that you may not have, and opening these, it could give you that schematic. But of course, if you just have tons of gold, you could also go this route. I kind of feel like they should lower this. I kind of feel like this one should be like 400. This one should be like 400. This should be like 100. That's my personal opinion of how I think it should be. Just the time to cost ratio, I feel, is not that high. All right, let's wrap it up by talking about the two ones that I want to talk about here, and that is the Armory Slot and the Legendary Flux. Now, we're not going to really talk too much about the Epic Flux. Most of the time, if you're going to be using something, unless you have a schematic, a hero, or someone who is like level like rare, and you need to take them up, you know, to Epic and then to Legendary, you're rarely ever going to use the Epic Flux. But the Legendary Flux is the one that we're going to talk about more. Now, yes, this is currently the only way to get Legendary Flux. And yes, a lot of times people might look at Legendary Flux like, why do I need it? Let's start with Legendary Flux. We're going to finish up with Armory Slot. So Legendary Flux is a very interesting thing. Legendary Flux is used to upgrade the an epic hero or schematic to legendary rarity. So what do you want to do here? All right, so let's say that I have let's go to my heroes, because I know I have some heroes that need to go up. Let's say I have a hero, and this hero is a legendary hero. There we go. Here's a legendary hero. Pathfinder Jess or Shrapnel Headhunter. I think Shrapnel Headhunter needs to go up. Okay, so let's say, oh my goodness, I have all these. Why do I have so many? So, as you guys can see, plain and simple, an epic hero can only go up to 5 stars, level 114. If I want to get that a little bit higher, I need to take it to level 130. The only way to increase this is if I go ahead and increase the rarity. As you guys can see there, mine is maxed out. All I have to do is go ahead and increase the rarity. And what's going to happen if I increase the rarity? It's going to use Legendary Flux. Now, apparently, I didn't realize that it used all this other stuff too. It uses hero experience, Legendary Flux, pure drops of rain, training manuals, lightning bottle, idle storms, and storm charts. So you use all of this, but the big one right here is the Legendary Flux. Now, you may think, 100 legendary Flux is not that big of a deal. We all know it is. It is very much a big deal. 100 legendary Flux does not come by easy, and in some instances, not really with heroes as much. But we really do want to use this sometimes when we have schematics. We may have schematics that are epic. I've actually think I've taken all of mine epic that were epic, but you might have an epic schematic that you would like to take up to legendary, so you've got to use that legendary Flux. The other reason, or the other thing that you might use it is if in case, let's go ahead and go down to the expandables. Okay, you know what, let's say you ask me, hey DUJ2, what's the best schematic in the game? What's the best weapon in the game? And you guys know, if you watched me for a while, that I'm going to say without a shadow of the doubt, the Zap Zap. So let's say you want to get yourself a Zap Zap. Let's say that you need a Zap Zap in your life. You want a Zap Zap in your life. Well, how do you get a Zap Zap? Well, you can pull llamas and hopefully get it, or you can research it. You can research any weapon in the game that is in the base set or in the expanded schematics. Event weapons you can't yet. Sometimes. But schematics that are in the expandable schematics and regular schematics, you can research them, and this means you are going to get yourself a brand new spanking schematic out of this, as long as you use the weapon designs and the legendary Flux. You can do this with heroes as well. You can't do it with survivors, and you can't do it with defenders yet. Maybe one day they will let it. Can you do it with defenders? Actually, you know what, no, you can't. Wow. Okay, so you can't do it with defenders or survivors either. So you can do it on all the base heroes, all the base weapons and traps. I don't think you can do it with, well, let's see. Can you do it with the tar pit trap yet? No, you can't. The tar pit trap's not the only one. But if you go down here to expansion people and expansion schematics, you can do it with anything that is in the expansion. Let's say you really want yourself a vacuum tube sword. Highly recommend it. You can go ahead and research the schematic for the weapon designs and the Flux. And the only way to get the Flux right now in the game is by purchasing them right here from the shop. Sometimes we'll get bigger amounts over here. If you're someone like me who plays this game a lot, I like to keep about 500 just in case I need it for something, but most of the time I'm going to get everything just from playing. But like I said, if there's something you really want right now, you have to have it now. This is the way to get it. So that is what Legendary Flux is. That's what Legendary Flux is for. And that's why, for some people, it is a must-have from the weekly store or from the shop. Item shop. Last thing we're going to talk about is the Armory Slots. And this one is probably the biggest unsung hero of the set. A lot of people constantly say, you know what, I've got 800 slots, I've got 1,000 slots, I've got 2,000 slots. Why do I need more? Well, as you guys can see, your inventory can get pretty full. Your inventory can get pretty full pretty fast. Right now, I do need to get rid of some items. If you guys can see, I have a lot of doubles of some things, but trust me, you're never gonna go wrong with getting more inventory slots. That's just something that's worth having. I gotta tell you, I don't even think about it. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase the 100 here. Every single season, every single new season, we get an extra 100. I think only once or twice I've actually missed buying these. Guys, it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. I can't tell you. Have they fixed this yet? They haven't fixed it yet. Wow. We still gotta click. The inventory slots, I gotta tell you guys, is probably one of the greatest things. The Armory Slots is probably one of the greatest things in the game. For 2,500 V-Bucks, I'm gonna give myself 100. I will tell you this: if you're planning on playing this game and playing a lot, buy them. Just buy them, guys. Okay, just buy them. I'm not gonna say anything else about that. I highly recommend that you get all the inventory slots you ever can. That is without a shadow of doubt. If you were to tell me right here one thing that, of course, you know, apart from the regular must-haves that we have, which is the reperk and the all the evolved materials, one of those unsung heroes, one of those must-haves that we constantly forget about, it is the Armory Slots. The worst thing that can happen is if you get to the point where you have, oh look, I'm gonna get to 2,000. Let's do this. Let me do this really quick. Look at this. Look at that, finally. Hey, look, I'm finally at 2,000. All right. But I'll tell you, one of the worst things that can happen is if you go ahead and you purchase, or let's say that you open some llamas. Let's say that you did a lot. Let's say you worked really, really hard. You got a ton of tickets for an event, and you open all the llamas, and you go over your inventory, and then you're like, you know what? I got this new weapon. I want to work on it, but it won't let you. It won't let you because if you go over your inventory amount, you're not going to be able to work on anything until you get it down. So just for some peace of mind, that's always a good thing. I've got 2,000. I guarantee you the next time I open llamas, I'm going to go over that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, I am DUJ2. This has been the must-have video for this week, and we've been talking about all the extra little things that we don't normally talk about in the item shop. The schematics and why I recommend to buy them if you have an excess of gold. If you don't, I don't really think it's the best thing, but the must-haves that definitely must be had are the Armory Slots. That's a huge must-have. I highly recommend it. And of course, the legendary Flux. It's always good to have some, at least a couple hundred laying around, just in case you need it for something. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy what I do on my channel, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.